Hello, art friends. It's me, Mrs. Treat. We have another fun activity that we're going to be doing together today. We're going to need more tinfoil. This time I'm going to ask that you maybe get an adult's help, get the tinfoil. I'm asking that you get a square. I noticed that my screen is a little bit off, but you want about equal lengths on all four sides. So if you could get your hands on a square piece of tinfoil, that'd be great. Give or take, if it's not quite a square, and if it's close enough, that's fine. We're gonna be making a sculpture of a person out of this piece of tinfoil today. So I'm gonna ask that you get yourself a scissors. If you happen to have a ruler or a straight edge, it'll come in handy. A marker, if you've got one. I'm gonna use this Sharpie just so I can make some visual lines, and let's go ahead and get started. All right, before we do any activities with this, we want to actually fold our project very carefully in half. Now, tinfoil can tear, so we need to be very, very careful with it. Now, if it's close to a square, it shouldn't matter which direction we fold it because it would be about the same either way. I just need kind of a guideline. When I fold it in half, we're gonna open it up. And now I've got a nice fold in the center. That's just a guideline for me. We're not actually gonna do anything with that particular line. All right, let's start at the very top. I'm gonna take my ruler, and if you don't have one, again, you don't need to worry too much about it. I've got 12 inches here. I want to make a mark about every 4 inches, so I'm just gonna go, I'm gonna break it into thirds. So for me, that'd be 4 and 8. So I went ahead and make 2 marks. If you just visually want to break it into thirds, or maybe have an adult or an older sibling come in and kind of give you a visual, if you can see how it's broken to the thirds on the top. On the bottom, we are gonna mark a spot in half. So again, you can just visually make a mark, that would be fine. Or I'm just going to use my ruler, and I know half of 12 is 6. So I'm gonna go ahead and make a mark there as well. All right, you can set your ruler and your Sharpie aside and get a hold, if you will, of your scissors. Now we are gonna be cutting our tinfoil just to start to separate sort of arms, head, and legs. And we have this fold scent line in the center. Now we want to cut straight up and down heading towards that center line, but you actually don't want to hit that center line. So I want to stop before I get to that center fold. So I'm going to start here at the bottom, right on that dash line where it was about 6 inches, and I'm going to start to cut. And you can see my fold line is here. I'm going to stop right about there. I'm going to stop, it's about 1 inch, I suppose. As you can see, my fold line is here. I cut about 1 inch away from that. I'm gonna turn around on these dash lines. Remember, we have thirds. I'm gonna do the same amount of cutting, but I'm gonna stop the same amount. I'm gonna stop a little bit before that fold line, about 1 inch, I'd say. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut. Again, being very careful because tinfoil is very thin and delicate. Stopping. About 1 inch away from that fold, give or take, as long as they're equal. All right, turning it around, you can see I kind of have 2 arms, a head, and 2 legs, roughly. Now, again, we got to be careful with tinfoil because it can tear, but thankfully it's inexpensive. So if we want to try this again, we certainly can. Or if we make a mistake, we can kind of crunch it back together and hopefully it'll be fine. I'm going to start on the bottom with the single split because these are going to be my 2 legs. Now, very carefully, I'm going to start to bunch it together. But again, I'm not going to smash it really fast because I want to try to manipulate it to go the way I want it to, plus I don't want to damage my tinfoil. So I'm going to take my hands and start pinching together to form my character's leg. And it's going to start to do some wonky, wobbly stuff at the top. That is okay, because eventually they're going to get crunched too. But be very slow and gentle with it. Let it take its time to fold, to start to build each body part. You can see we have a bit of a leg there. I'm going to come over here to the other side and do the same thing. Start to pinch slowly, gathering my tinfoil to create sort of a second leg. You can start to see it starts to do some wonky things on the top. That's okay. Mine tore a little bit, but I'm not going to worry too much about that at this point. All right, 2 tinfoil looking legs. We're going to do the same similar approach to the 2 arms on either side. Again, being careful when we pinch to allow it to an opportunity to basically move on its own. Don't force it, otherwise it will tear. And we'll do the same to the other side. Starting to look like a weird creature, human body type thing. I don't have them as pinched as I probably will want them. I'm going to kind of wait till I have it all formed, and then I can kind of manipulate the pinching a bit more. I'm going to now go in and pinch the body, which is the center area or the torso. So I'm going to go ahead and sort of bring that in. So as you can see, the body starts to come together a little bit. Like so. And the head, we can kind of crunch and roll it into a ball type shape. So it's a little bit different than pinching. I'm sort of rolling into a sort of a ball. He's got one really long arm. Whatever, that's cool. As long as you can tell it is a figure of some sort. And then from here, you can now manipulate what your character is doing. You can have them doing some sort of, shape, whatever. But basically, we're just working with the element of form, where we're creating something that's 3-dimensional and interactive. You can make 2 of them if you want to, so that you can have them interacting with each other. Now you've got yourself a little character. I can't wait to see how your tinfoil characters turned out.